What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. What a day yesterday. The carnage, the mayhem, craziness. But interestingly enough, and this is gonna play into it a little bit. We got a 3-day weekend ahead of us, and we'll see what happens. But crazy bearish engulfing day on the markets. We got Albert in the house, though. We got Anna. Good morning to you. We got Carlos, Donna, Greg, Jay. Good morning to Jeff, Lucian, Peter, Tim, Win. All my people out in YouTube land. We got David, Clarice, Thurahans in the house. Good morning to Assad. Good morning to E Queen as well. Assad says crypto. Yeah, we can cover some crypto too. Let me know if you got anything in particular. But and if you guys got tickers, throw them in the chat. That's fine. We'll cover whatever you guys want to. But interesting day yesterday. And we actually had this discussion. I don't think it was before the market. I think it was I think it was Win that was bringing it up. He's like, man, if we close at like 525, could be in some danger. Yeah, possibly. So the question is, and I was like, nah, yeah, I think we can go a little bit lower, 523-ish. We did get down to we got down to like 524.79. We bounced a little bit. Not a great open, but we are bearish engulfing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. So that entire weight up to see what the NVIDIA earnings are, we did not hold any of it. Interesting. So is this the end of the market or is this the pullback? That's the real question. For right now, again, if we take a look at this weekly chart, it calms down everybody, I think, a little bit. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 big weeks in a row. We did break out new highs this week, and we'll see where obviously this candle's still open. But right now, it's a little bit of a high wave indecision candle. We do have a little bit of a bull trap. We have not broken down this 519 zone yet. And even if we did break it down, I mean, we're pretty far extended from some of those moving averages still. Right? So we still have if we throw a quick little fib on that last move up, providing that this is the actual high of everything. We have, I don't have the 50% retracement until we get to like 513.76. So again, big move on the market. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's just not a pullback that we're having, and we have not really topped. We make new highs, things like that. But otherwise, we're just inside. So as much as it's a bearish engulfing candle from yesterday, the weekly still tells me, hey, you know what? The trend is still bullish. We should have even a little bit of support at 523.83. That's kind of that last pivot. And we'll see. Not a great open. I mean, after that candle, any gap up is a good open for the bulls. But we do have a lot of resistance ahead of us. So we got 528.93. And then maybe even a retest, probably about 530.94. So we have a bit of resistance. That's going to be a struggle bus for the bulls to get through, admittedly so. And can it happen today? I don't know. We got some options expiring. We're dealing with probably a little bit more negative sentiment into the market today than we had yesterday. And then we have to watch, I'd say even probably this opening price on the SPY. So that's right where yesterday's VPOC also came in. So we have about 520.94. So let's see if we can hold that. Otherwise, that would be the range that we're in. If we start to break down from there, we still have not retested this 523.54. We got some moving averages coming in. Next spot probably takes us to about 520.93. Lighter volume volatility too. Yeah, I mean, we've had that. So you're saying for the 3-day weekend. I agree. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to get into the market, right? Think about this. If you're trying to get into the market, you have we hit all-time highs yesterday on the open. They always tell you don't buy high, right? So that's, I mean, you don't get higher than all-time highs. You're not really looking to buy there. So like, yeah, but I'm not bearish on the market. We did just hit all-time highs as well. So you kind of waiting for maybe some kind of a pullback. You got a 3-day weekend. Now you got this bearish engulfing on the daily. Is today the day you really want to jump into the market and be like, hey, I want to get some long-term investments? Or did you say, hey, let's see what happens over the weekend? We'll give it three days, see if any news comes out, if anything goes crazy. So I'd probably go the latter on that one and just say let's wait and see. So we're already in a low volume, low liquidity market already. So yeah, I don't think today's gonna add volume. And then also with the low liquidity, yeah, you're going to get these wild moves, these bigger moves, because there's just nothing, no volume really protecting it. Nobody's really watching it, trading it. You got a bunch of algos out there, and that's it. So we got Qs, same thing. Not a great close. We did close below. I would say what should have been a decent support, 450, 451. Grand scheme of things, we just came in and retested this heavy support. We actually came down perfectly, retested that last line in the sand, and now we are this gap and go still inside. But I, I, I think what's scary about yesterday is we did it all within one day. I didn't see that happening. I don't think many people saw that happen. We'll see. We'll see. They did a full on retest, which I kind of preferred. Rip it off like the band-aid. That's it. One quick move. TLT. Let's see. How did the bonds hang out? Bonds are still just in this zone. So yeah, as scary as it was, it's a little bit confusing. We're like, man, this seems a little bit overdone. This seems a little dramatic. I don't think we have too much to worry about yet. But it is good to take note. And somebody was even bringing up, hey, should we buy puts yesterday? I still don't really see the reason to. Like, I like besides obviously protection and having insurance just in case. But I don't see any bad fundamentals out in the. Well, from what there's bad fundamentals. There's definitely some bad fundamentals still out there in the market. But in terms of what the market cares about at the moment, the reports and everything, the earnings, Nvidia's earnings was good. So yeah, I don't see too much yet. That would be like, okay, yeah, here's the hard fact of why we have to come down. So we'll see. All right, we got a few tickers. We'll take a look at. Let's go to Bitcoin first, since we were asked about crypto. Bitcoin did come down again, still a little bit further than we would have liked. But what we were measuring is essentially this candle right here. Right, so move starts about here, head up to here. We were seeing, okay, maybe this 50 could hold, maybe the 618. As of yesterday, we did clear through both of those. We're just kind of hanging out now for Bitcoin. Gone a little bit further than that. So now we probably have to go to where this move actually starts. Roll this back down a little bit to get to that 50 or 618. You almost got to the 50 yesterday, right? So if we actually started the move here, as opposed to the one candle, see if we get that continuation. We do have probably a little bit further. That takes us to the 20 EMA 2, so somewhere around 66.51. And then after that, a much bigger spot to hold, somewhere around 64.681. So we'll see. We haven't actually broken down this candle yet. We've got a little hammer so far today. But I'd probably see if we come down. We are holding. There's also the last level right there at the 52. So let's see if we get a bounce at the 50, right? So somewhere around 66.79 ish would be an interesting spot for Bitcoin to bounce. But the 3-day weekend could play into the benefit of crypto. That's what I'm kind of banking on. A lot of times when the market is closed, you gotta still trade something. People are just like, I need to trade. I do not enjoy hanging out with my family. I want to sit and want to trade some Bitcoin. So we'll see. We'll see. Carvana, CVNA. Let me know if you guys got any other tickers, anything else going on in the market that you see looks interesting. We got Carvana again, close into the 20. Not a strong close at all. This one does have a lot of room. I feel like they're not gonna make it that easy. This looks like I think a longer term. Be careful. Watch out for the short. You have plenty of room to kind of come in, close this gap. First stop would be like 91, 97. And then you got about 87.38. So there's a path to close this gap with that closing candle. I would almost think that you probably come back and retest this 113.73, maybe get up into like this 115.70 zone if you want to try to have a better risk reward. So see if this one wants to bounce. It is a gap and go today, and you are leaning right on that 20-day moving average. So not bad. Not bad for some bulls to make a case, and this is still a nice bullish gap. But we are starting to leak a little bit, getting right under that earnings candle. So two scenarios I think on this one. I think we could safely say we got some kind of a downtrend here, something kind of channel, and just depends on how long. But maybe we come into here, maybe we do almost a 50% retrace from here to here. That would land us somewhere right around that solid $100 mark, and then we could look for some kind of potential bounce down there. So I think it does come a little bit lower. I think this gap fill is in play, but we'll see. That was not a great closing candle, but we are being held up. So I think we bounce a little bit first, and then you got some shorts like, okay, maybe we get some protection on it. We got DLTR. DLTR. ANET had a nice hammer on the daily too. All right, we'll take a look at that one. Dollar Tree. Still looking a little bit bearish. We have a few days of consolidation. It actually did go up yesterday somehow. I guess everybody thought recession was here and we need to go shop at the. I think it's a $7 tree now. I think it's a $7 tree. Pretty sure. You can't. I don't think you can buy anything for $1 at the Dollar Tree. What a world. $7 tree, but yeah, still looking like the major overall trend is bearish. We've had a few days in a row of a little bit of consolidation. Maybe somebody's trying to take a stab here, trying to build a little bit of support. I would probably need a little bit more. I wouldn't be shocked if we're just kind of letting those moving averages, we just chop sideways for a little bit, let some of those moving averages catch up, and then we start kind of coming into retests. At least probably like 108.85. If I really wanted an instant Dollar Tree, that's probably where I'd be waiting. See if we come a little bit lower on it. Even expired bubble gum. That's $8. You got to pay extra for the fermenting of it. I don't know. All right, you got Dollar Tree, and then in today's like Gap. I don't know. I would if you do want to trade this thing, I think at open we probably look for almost a fade. This is a retest gap from yesterday. See if the support holds at like 114.51. And I think you're kind of fighting the bull trend on this one. Yeah, probably yeah. If you're real quick at open, maybe you got a short. I don't think the risk reward's there. If you want to try this thing long, you're probably trying somewhere around 114.38. So see if this one wants to pull back a little bit. I think you should be able to catch those pricing. Marvell. Failed gap and go yesterday. If we're just going off that one candle. Otherwise, this retest makes sense. Here's your bullish breakout candle. You had 2 days consolidation. I would probably wipe those out. And yeah, I'd be looking for more of a retest. You did come down. We retested all those VPOCs perfectly. Nice little bounce off of it. So technically, even though this is the right candle, this was bullish. I would look, and we are having a little bit of resistance. I don't want to see a huge pullback on this one if it's going to work, but come down, retest the 74.98 zone, I think would be appropriate. So I'd be almost acting as if this is actually a green candle retest. So I give it a few minutes. I think it's interesting enough, though, where it does got some room on it. Let's get that one higher on the list. So if we could get a pullback, great. I want to stall somewhere. We'll call it $75. We'll call it 75 flat. We get somewhere back into that zone. We've already retested this one, so we can break out of that, and then target will be about 77.19. It's only one little zone over there, and the next one up 78. So it depends on how set up on it. Could be interesting. Otherwise, decent gap. Would like to see a little pullback though at open. We got ANET. Santilla's in the house. What's up, Santilla? All right, we got Arista Networks. Plenty of volume on this one yesterday. Longer term picture, you're probably looking for this. For now, at least. There's two ways to go about this one, but so that one didn't quite get us to the 50. The other bottom of this channel where this move actually starts probably about here, and that would be a perfect bounce off that 50. So interesting spot for the bulls to come in. We do have a little bit of a hammer on the daily. Not bad. You are sitting above all the moving averages. We're opening above yesterday's VPOC. The real test on this one is can we break through yesterday's high? So that would be our confirmation that at least this gap fill closes. I don't know if we're able to break out new highs on it. Depends on probably the rest of the market. I wouldn't mind attempting this one. I don't know what the volume looks like on it. Tesla just seems like it's going crazy now. Uh, yeah, Tesla's getting a couple candles pre-market. I'm gonna add this one to the list. We'll see what happens on this one. Let's get this up there. ANET. Uh, yeah. On a wave count basis, I think this is probably wave 4. So I think we get that wave 5. So again, maybe we could do one new higher high. Again, if the market does start making new all-time highs quickly, that's not a bad pullback spot. And then we probably get that with that bullish run. There's definitely some buy the dippers. And we could see an all-time high in this one. Not today. And then if this thing is to turn into some kind of inverted head and shoulders, yeah, first little stop right at the open. So we open to the resistance. That wick would be the line in the sand. So I'd have my stops on a swing trade basis underneath it. I'm just trying to think of how the market's going to get me on this one. 618 is below it, but I don't even think I'd want to play that 618 if that candle breaks down. So I wouldn't mind throwing a stop underneath it. How is the market going to get me today? But looks interesting. We got Mora. So this one's just kind of chilling. Just chilling. Good breakout candle 2 days ago. So what was this? Monday? Actually, oh, yeah, that's 3 days in there. So Monday, good breakout candle. We have not broken down this candle. So again, we have signs of hope for a lot of these stocks still. That's kind of where that last volume came in. Anytime we have these volume candles, they've all been to the bullish direction, oddly enough. We are still above all moving averages. I don't know if I see anything like real appealing today in terms of like, yeah, I definitely have some kind of edge on this thing. But if you were bullish and you missed that last pop, you do have support somewhere around 1969. We have not come down to retest this one yet. So you probably want your stop somewhere around 1927 just in case. 1920, maybe underneath that bullish candle. But you are buying a pullback. You're not at all-time highs on this one. It does have the ability to go crazy. You are running into that 3-day weekend too. So again, if crypto wants to move, I've noticed a lot of times on those 3-day weekends, you've had good bullish, not necessarily always bullish, but recently we've had some good bullish movement over 3-day weekends. But that's an interesting spot for bulls want to come in. It's almost testing that last little support. So if you are going to take it, and you want targets to the bull side, I'd be looking at about 2172 for today. And then if we go crazy, we're starting to really get above that candle. You're probably looking for this 2210. Swing trade would look interesting there, I think. We'll see. We got Netties. Netties. This one gaps pretty frequently. So that's the only caveat to this one. You do have almost every day this one kind of gaps. But this is a gap down. Technically, it would be a retest gap, and you are at support. So see if this thing wants to come a little bit lower. If it wants to start holding intraday, maybe somewhere around $90.18. You can make a case that you're trying to play the fade on Netties, but it does gap pretty decent. Pretty often. Moderna. MRNA. The daily chart. This one's taking off. Maybe you could look for some bullish continuation. Let's see if there's any resistance. You are kind of at one right now. So you're kind of getting held up there, right into that last volume. Next spot up from here takes me to about 171.71. And yeah, maybe some actually I might if we get a high wave on this one, I might play the continuation. The problem is you have a lot of green days already, but this one broke out, took off. We also saw on PFE the other day. I don't know if yes, I don't know what happened yesterday on it. It gave back most. We're at the 200 on the daily for PFE. Interesting swing trade is if we get above on PFE, 29.50. I'd say probably a little lower, 29.47. You start breaking above yesterday's candle, that's also above the 200. So maybe it chops in here for a little bit, and then that might be a decent kind of breakout play on PFE. But MRNA, you're just trying to buy high, sell higher at this point. Hopefully, you get some momentum. Otherwise, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days in a row of buying. So I think I missed like that best price probably to get in on this one. That is a hefty move. Wow, it's about $40 move. Okay. $40 move. Great consolidation. Again, you still have that inverted head and shoulders. There's your neckline. This little move was kind of that pullback into it. So it looks pretty fantastic besides this little resistance up here. But again, if you want to try to catch some movement, maybe into like the 171. I'd even say maybe like 176 on this one for targets. Looks interesting though. Harry says website is good now. Appreciate that. Michael says you guys still working on your website. For the most, they are still working on it. Yeah, it's not fully complete. They're still working on it, but for the most part, the functionality of most of the stuff is there, and I think Emily's in the background still updating some of the courses and kind of completing it. But there's still some stuff we have to do to it. But for the most part, pretty decent. All right, snow, a lot of bearish volume. Yeah, snow looks like that. Uh, William Sonoma Company. Yeah. By the way, YouTube land they corrected me. I know. I now know they don't sell paint. Although they could. We got snow. Yeah, lots of volume yesterday. Again, we said this when it opened, so this is one of those companies where it's like there's so many bag holders. From like at least once a year, you get a whole bunch of brand new bag holders on this one. The fundamentals and the earnings aren't that bad, although TradingView said this one missed earnings per share at least, and then they did beat by $40 million. So the earnings aren't bad. The valuation's pretty crazy on it. You're still paying a pretty high premium on Snowflake. But otherwise, yeah, any of these dips, it has the ability to make crazy moves. You are in a longer term at some kind of support. And then again, yesterday's candle. So if you want to make a case for a swing trade, I would throw my stop probably right under here. So you got probably 143.93. We got, let's do a quick fib on this last move at least. You're right at that 618. So you can make a case. It's not bad to nibble here, but I would definitely have my stops below that if you're interested in it. Today, probably not the day though. Yep, that volume, that bearish engulfing candle, I would let it play out for a few days, maybe on like Wednesday, revisit it if it's still kind of chopping in that zone. Otherwise, you're catching a falling knife, and a lot more people just got trapped on that candle as well. So people were running for the exits. They're like, just give me anything. I don't need my money back. I just want out, free up some cash. And that seems to be what happened. But there could be a case there's a little support. It just I think too soon to jump in on it. Nana says Moderna needs a retracement. Yeah, but that's what we said about GE too. We haven't had one yet. We're like, oh man, GE, that's gonna need one, and then $75 later, We're like, maybe we should just buy it at the highs. FOMO is strong. FOMO is strong, but eventually everything kind of pulls back a little bit. We'll see what happens. But yeah, what was it, 10 days in a row on Moderna? After a really good consolidation, starting to break out. Oh, now it has broken out. So again, I think probably buying the dips makes sense. You might get some continuation in a bullish direction, but I wouldn't be swing trading it bullish. I wouldn't be long term investing on that one up there. It would be a shorter time frame day trade, something like that. We did see Tesla getting a couple of candles pre-market. I don't know if any of it held. So what in the world is happening with Tesla? That's the question. Again, not a great close. We closed back below all moving averages. We also closed below 174.57. That's kind of where I want this thing to have retested, and then we get a pop. We are opening above it. Not looking great. No, that's still just inside consolidation. You just trap the bulls. Maybe we get the opportunity to trap some bears down here. You already trapped some bears over here. And Tesla's just sideways. Yeah, W Day. Did they have earnings? I think. Yeah, so they had earnings or attempted earnings. They still made money. 8% surprise side for earnings per share, and then 14 million to the higher side. That is quite the gap though. We finally filled this one. I think we kind of did it over here too. No, didn't quite get there. Well, that will be your gap fill. But we had to add a new gap to get there. This one looks kind of bearish. A little bit of support chop in this zone, probably from the low end of 225.18 to where we're sitting now. So we're sitting right on top of the chop, 231.45. I would assume this neckline probably gets in play at some point, 221.87. And that's a beautiful double bottom. We never really came back, retested that. So there might be a spot to buy it. I don't follow this company enough for me in terms of like the fundamentals. Otherwise, you probably have some decent trap bulls. You still have a long way to go, even if we're drawing a long-term 618 or 50% retracement from that entire move. Yeah, that would throw us back to this like 210 zone, 211. So might have some more room to the downside, but market's getting a little tough on that one. A little top heavy-ish. But that is the morning bell. Make sure you guys out on YouTube land, hit that like and subscribe button. Have a great 3-day weekend. Enjoy yourself. Try not to have too many work days. See what I did there? Work day? Yeah, work day.